Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Hello and welcome to the Town 11 Podcast, the podcast brought to you by The Wheel. I am your host, Adam Hess, and with me this week, special guest. He's only 19, but his mind is older. It's Tyler Carcara. Tyler, how you doing today?
I'm excellent. I appreciate you saying that I'm 19. It makes me feel like I'm not slowly getting older and
Brother,
aging out of.
I'm going to be 30 soon.
That sucks. I turned 26 this year, and I was like, oh, wow, oh man, I can feel it. I can feel my bones. I can only imagine where you're at. Yeah, I'm slowly losing touch with the youth. I can feel it slipping from my grasp.
I don't know when it happened, but it's like a year and a half ago. I just started getting annoyed about TikTok. Not like anything specifically, just annoyed that
just
like
the
TikTok
vibe
is a thing.
Just annoyed it's a thing. Yeah.
It's getting old. I just get annoyed about TikTok.
Yeah, it's I just had a conversation with a young person recently where I came out of the conversation and be like, oh, they have much to learn. And I was like, oh no.
It happened. Conversation with a young person. You make it
I
sound
don't
like
want to blow up their spot.
It makes it sound like you were sitting on your stoop and some kids walked by with sagging pants and you tried to show them how to live right and proper.
I did. And you know how to live right and proper? Go see Lost in Translation at the New Beverly and come home and do your fourth fantasy draft. That's the way to live proper.
You don't even like fantasy. Like, you have been pretty
I don't.
outspoken. Why are you in 4 leagues?
Coincidence, really? And also, I do like drafting. I want to make that perfectly clear. Now that the draft is over, I'm done. I don't care. All fantasy should be best ball.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to have to check it every week. I care a lot about the draft because that was always my shit with like Madden and 2K. Is I loved the team building aspects of things and doing like fake, video game drafts. Like that's my shit. I love that stuff. Now that I have to go into the season and like I look at my roster and I'm like, ooh, wow, I really have a lot of Ricky Pearsall stock. Like that doesn't make me feel good.
This is the same way, and to get us off football adjacent immediately. This is the same way I ended up playing D&D. Is I didn't want to play D&D. I liked the people that were playing D&D, and I was hanging out with them, and they were like, "We should play D&D," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, I'll sit in." And making the character is fun, and then the rest of D&D kind of sucks.
I'm going to disagree with you on that as someone who had a 4-year-long D&D podcast in college. But I do get what you're saying. Yeah, you need to play. Sorry, you need to play Baldur's Gate 3. That's what you should play. Oh,
I played it.
What do you think?
I fell off like 22 hours in. I just stopped playing.
Damn, that's when it gets good.
22 hours in is when it gets. Listen. We talked about this. I just want to play games from 2007. I just want to play Dark Souls, I want to play Mass Effect, and I want to play Gears of War. That's it. I'm good.
Whatever you say. Should we talk about the NFL?
Well, actually, no. We're going to start by talking about the NBA. Mike, Tyler, are you
I'm sorry, I can't be him.
Are you familiar? You guys have about the same amount of hair. It's just where the hair is distributed that's different. Are you familiar with a player by the name of Kawhi Leonard?
I've heard of him. He used to play basketball, right?
He used to play
5
basketball.
years ago,
correct.
10 years ago.
Yes. He was on the Raptors at one point, and then he's gone into witness protection. Pablo Torre of the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast recently released an episode detailing how Kawhi Leonard was paid $28 million for a no-show contract to a now defunct sustainability company called Aspiration, which Steve Ballmer invested $50 million in. There is belief that this was to circumvent the NBA cap and pay Kawhi Leonard an extra $28 million from the course of 2022 to 2025. Might come as a surprise, the Clippers have denied this accusation, and they claim that Ballmer just thought it was a really good business. The now defunct business.
Question. When did this happen? I know you said the date. Say that again.
It happened between 2022 and 2025. The episode was based off of a court filing that occurred in May of 2025.
This makes no sense to me. If you had said this happened in like what was it? When did he join the Clippers? 2019. If you were like, this happened in 2019, and this is one of the things that convinced him to join the Clippers was a secret $50 million under the table, I would have been like, wow, that's a smoking gun. But Steve Ballmer is like, here's an extra $50 million while you play 20 games a year, Kawhi Leonard. Like, I'm very confused by that.
Let's see. Since this began, in the 4 seasons that have occurred, he has played a total of 157 games.
Oh my God, that's really not good. One of those years was that one solid playoff run. Like everyone forgets about the one playoff run he had where he beat Luka. That was fun for a little bit, and then he got hurt again.
Yeah, he got hurt and they lost.
Yeah, they made the Eastern Conference. They made the Western Conference Finals. But I guess my question is, if they're doing this for Kawhi Leonard, what do you think Giannis is getting under the table to stay in Milwaukee?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
My first thought was Myles Garrett, so kind of similar paths here.
Yeah.
So this came to light because the CEO of Aspiration, Joseph Sandberg, recently pleaded in a $243 million fraud case.
Huh. Interesting.
Aspiration was the team's sponsor in 2021, 2022, and 2022, 2023.
Oh, that was was it their jersey sponsor?
Yeah, their jersey sponsor in those years.
Whoa, that's interesting. But Kawhi Leonard was like an owner of that company.
No.
Oh.
He was, so Steve Ballmer invested $50 million in it, and then they paid Kawhi Leonard $28 million with a contract to like show up at events, but like with a no-show clause, so he still got paid if he didn't show up, and then he subsequently didn't show up.
Yeah. Interesting. It's like, we'll pay you to be our sponsor for our thing, but then you don't really. It involves no responsibilities.
Did I ever tell you about how DeMar DeRozan gave me a cold once?
No.
Yeah.
Seems like.
So we have a mutual acquaintance by the name of Doug, who is got somewhat of a good working history in the advertising film scene as a cinematographer, or DP, or anything in that kind of general camera department around Chicago. And one year he was doing an ad for a shoe company with DeMar DeRozan after DeMar DeRozan got out to Chicago. And when he was shooting it on set, DeMar DeRozan had a cold, and Doug got sick, and then Doug got me sick.
So DeMar DeRozan gave you a cold by
DeMar DeRozan gave me a cold, yeah.
It's pretty good. Interesting. Who knew? I've thought about Doug in a long time. Good dude. Anyway, I don't have any thoughts. Is the NBA going to investigate this? Is there anything on that?
They are investigating it. Now, here's the question.
I'll believe it when I see it.
What does this in any way upset you, or is this one of those things that you were like, yeah, that probably just happens on all 30 teams?
This feels like an old sort of this doesn't feel like a professional sports scheme, though. This feels like a college sports scheme from like before the NIL, you know, when like everyone denied the secret ways that they would pay players, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you know, like, and to this day they still deny it, even though players can get paid now. You ever see the clip of Pat McAfee making a joke to Nick Saban about how much he paid his players, and Nick Saban getting really mad?
No, I haven't.
It's really funny. I'm not a McAfee guy, but that clip is like A1. It's really funny. But yeah, this feels like this. I don't know. I don't know. They're all billionaires. Who gives a shit? That's kind of where I'm at.
Executive, according to Sports Illustrated, execs predict severe punishment for Clippers.
A bigger punishment than being the Clippers?
Yeah, right.
That's like being like the Cleveland Browns are going to be docked draft picks. And it's like, you could have just let them pick those guys anyway. It's not like they were going to draft anybody useful, right? You know?
They were going to pick a bunch of running backs and quarterbacks that aren't going to start for the team.
Yeah, aren't going to start for the team anyway. It's like they drafted nobody regardless, you know?
I think my take on this is I have no take. My assumption is that this shit goes on all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I assume that if you dug into, I don't know, Golden State's books, or, you know what's a great example? Like, Tom Brady in New England, where they're like, he's taking a pay cut. Like, is there any world in which Kraft wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have Tom Brady as our mac and cheese sponsor. That means he has to show up at schools and eat mac and cheese. And if he doesn't show up, we don't have a clause saying he doesn't get paid, so he gets paid.
Yeah, I mean, and I'd be like, sure, he's
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and like, if this didn't go on, if this aspiration thing didn't go on, does it affect the annals of NBA history at all?
That's my question. That's why I'm like, it's so funny that it's for Kawhi, because
Yeah.
if it was like Giannis was paid to stay with Milwaukee, I'd be like, wow, so that's why he stayed in Milwaukee. He got a lot of money under the table. That would be a story to me. Kawhi, it's like, oh no, he didn't force his way out of the Clippers. Okay. He played 150 games in 4 years. Like, who cares?
Yeah. How many titles are different if this aspiration thing never happens?
What was the year that they made the Western Conference Finals? Is that the Denver year?
Yeah, I think that
Denver
was 21-22, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they beat whoever. There's a Golden State probably in the second round, and
I'm
then
sure it was something like that.
And then
Maybe
it was
like,
just Paul George in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't change anything because Kawhi didn't
Yeah.
play in the Western Conference Finals anyway. So
It doesn't change anything.
who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
On to more pressing matters. My apologies. Mike Regan texted me and said to be sure to bring up the Kawhi Leonard thing because he wants to hear our take. And I think our take is, good. I got lots of reads on that one, so I can pick the best one and just cut it in.
Yeah. Great. Good job.
On to our main topic of the day, and the reason that I have brought you in, as always, it's a gimmick. We love our gimmicks here on this show, especially in the Tyler Carcar episodes, where we bring them in, and it's always a gimmick.
What does that say about me and who I am as a person?
You're like the coyote of sports podcasting.
Yeah.
Like you just got an Acme bag full of gimmicks to talk
I got an
about.
Acme bag full of gimmicks because I have no substantive takes, just gimmicks.
You're not a film guy. You're too busy playing Baldur's Gate. All right. So the reason we brought Tyler in today is we are going to hand out some off-season awards to put a bow and then a bullet in the back of the head of the off-season for the 2025 NFL season. So all of these awards that we're going to hand out are going to be specifically about what happened between the Super Bowl and tonight when we get Game 1 of the NFL season. I asked Tyler to come up with 5. Tyler, how many awards did you end up with?
I'm at 5.
Perfect. I'm at 6. I thought I was at 5, but apparently I'm at 6. Some of which I'll need your help on. So, why don't you go ahead and start us off here?
Yeah, I'll start off. I read an article in The Athletic yesterday that sort of spurred this. This is the 1980s are back, baby, greed is good award, and it goes to the NFL, the National Football League.
Hold on,
Do you know it now?
It's pronounced NFL?
Yeah, it's pronounced NFL, like the letters.
Right. Got it.
This goes to the entire National Football League for a couple things. First of all, did you know that if you wanted to watch every football game this year, it would cost you $650?
Jesus Christ. All right, so you got YouTube TV.
Yeah, for
Peacock.
Red, yeah, Peacock, Netflix.
Amazon. Netflix. I forgot about Netflix.
Forgot about Netflix, right? Yeah.
Is there anything else? Is there any NFL Network exclusive games you have to have?
Yeah, there's NFL Network exclusives, but I think you get those if you're paying for YouTube, like Red Zone. Or not Red Zone, Sunday Ticket. Yeah. Boy, that's expensive. If I wasn't mooching off my dad's Sunday Ticket, I am not sure I would be watching as much football as I do. Or maybe I would. I don't know. Because, I mean, think about it this way. It's like you and I split the NBA League Pass.
Yeah.
And, like, that's so much cheaper than the NFL. And there's 17 weeks in the NFL season. NBA, there's games on every night for like 6 months.
Just did the math on it. That is $36.50 a week.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Now, but here's the thing: if you said you can pay $36 this weekend and you get access to every single game, I would be like, sure, I'll pay that every weekend. Sure. that's tough.
Can I like offshoot on this into a minor bitch I have about something?
Do you want me to? Can I finish my 2 reasons that they win this
Oh
award?
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, real fast.
Sorry, talking about football
The
before I stop talking
NFL
about
was
football.
involved in a sting that took down the largest illegal streaming site, Stream East. Like there was like with the Egyptian authorities. They did like a like they busted in and they're like, stop streaming Bengals games or whatever.
How does that sting work? Like, did you read the story? Because I saw this headline and I didn't dig into the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like their servers are based in Egypt, and they just worked with the Egyptian authorities, and it was literally like, it was like a SWAT team busted in, and they're like, we're taking down your servers or whatever.
I kind of hope they just fired like a whole clip into each server. Very American of them to take.
Yeah, some
servers.
Brazilian kid watching a Champions League game is like, no, it goes down, no. Slow motion mode montage.
Don't be.
Yeah, that's tough.
Champions League wasn't on this weekend.
That point is coupled with the $650 to watch every NFL game thing of like, I know the NFL's primary goal is to make money, and they've already kind of made all the money, and they're trying to make even more of all the money. Very, very late stage capitalism, very of the zeitgeist for them. Very, very, very Bezos. It's giving Elon. Good job, guys.
Don't worry,
but
they also have some of the strictest antitrust exemptions in the entire world for the NFL.
Yep. But boy, this is not growing the game. This is like cutting off your nose to spite your face. Think of all the like kids and international people and people who can't afford it that you're just cutting off from being fans. Like, I can't tell you how many sports or any type of content I've wanted to watch but can't because it costs like $650,
Yeah.
If I had to pay $650 to watch the NFL every year, I probably wouldn't. Like, I love the NFL, but I probably wouldn't. And last but not least, the last reason they win this award, they're putting commercials in NFL Red Zone.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the fuck, man? We can't have one nice thing. We can't have one thing without the corporations encroaching upon it. We can't have anything, man. I mean, I feel bad for Scott Hansen because he's getting a lot of shit over it, and he's just the host. It's not his decision. But it's just like, it's literally like there are memes about 7 hours of commercial-free football starting now. Like, and like the main complaint, your European soccer people have about at the NFL is how many fucking commercials there are. Like, and you're trying to grow the game internationally. This is all stuff that hypothetically will make them more money in the next 5 years, but is going to hurt them long term in terms of total growth. Like, if they really want it to compete with soccer internationally, like, this is the type of stuff that is going to prevent it from hitting its ceiling in terms of size. You know what I mean?
I 100% agree. It's the classic. I can't remember the band who it was. It might have been Iron Maiden, but back in the days of heavy music piracy, instead of going the Metallica route and getting litigious, they looked where their songs were being illegally streamed the most often and did concerts there, and they fucking sold out the buildings when they did concerts there. Like, the NFL is so pissed about losing a couple $1,000 now, so they're stopping it in its tracks instead of making a few more million in a few years when people in fucking Madrid care about football.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. It's just it's the problem that every industry is facing and has been facing for the last 20 years is no one takes a long-term view on this stuff. It's the reason that movies are dying is they're like, oh, we can all cash in and make if we just make 6 superhero movies a year at $300 million a piece and they all make $1 billion, then we're making so much money right now. But then 20 years later, you've now trained audiences to only go to theaters for those movies. And now those movies don't make money anymore and you're fucked. I don't think this is going to hurt the NFL long term, but it definitely caps its ceiling.
And the other point is like their punishment won't come anytime soon because as just an example here, with the fee that they're paying, or that people are paying, I should say, the amount of or the limited ability to watch it outside of paying that fee, and the fact that they're now showing commercials on Red Zone, you would think, okay, the punishment here will be loss of eyeballs. But just looking at a random game, Jets Saints, December 21st at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. How many people are going to watch that game?
8 million?
Yeah, literally millions are still going to watch it despite that, and the fact that it's the Jets.
Have you looked
Saints.
at TV? Have you looked at TV ratings, like highest rated programs of the last year? Of the 160 of them are NFL games.
Yeah,
and 30 of the other 40 are like NBA and hockey.
Yeah, and then there's a Caitlin Clark Angel Reese game at like
there's like a weird
somehow.
Caitlin Clark game, and then like down at the bottom, it's like season finale of NCIS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's why we all go to Netflix, where everyone watches Wednesday. Another thing I hate, despite the fact I've never seen it.
I've heard not good things about season 2.
I've never seen any of it. I just don't like it because it reminds me of TikTok, just like the Savannah Bananas. That's right, Savannah Bananas, overrated. Anyways,
I do agree with that. It's like they're from a bygone era, you know. They're from I saw the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid. Same thing.
I'm just turning into such a grump on here.
Yeah, I know. This is the old man yells at cloud podcast.
It's slowly getting there. I'm yelling at a lot of clouds these days. My first award, the Mount Joy Memorial Hipster's Favorite Award, goes to the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos this year added Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, and Evan Ingram. They drafted Jahdae Barron, RJ Barrett, and Pat Bryant, and they paid Cortland Sutton. Their over-unders landing somewhere between 8 and 9, and every podcast I have listened to has picked them to win the AFC West.
Do you think they're just picking them to win the AFC West because they're like the Chiefs can't win again?
Maybe it's like a Hakeem Olajuwon wins the MVP over Michael Jordan thing.
Yeah, must be, or the Embiid over Jokic type thing.
Just sick of picking the same people.
Picking the same. Yeah, I know the AFC West is going to be a good division this year, and I know hypothetically they're one of the better divisions, but I feel like it's always like this division is the murderer's row, are the divisions where it's like not going to go well. Like I have serious concerns about the Chargers, and I have serious concerns about the Raiders, you know, but my thing about like the Denver's probably going to be good because they were good last year.
Yeah. So
I think that's why people are picking them, because they're the obvious, if it's not the Chiefs, it'll probably be Denver. But like it's probably going to be the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, like Denver's defense is going to be elite again. They had an elite pressure to sack ratio last year. They added more talent on their defense with Jahdae Barron, Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw. The offense last year, I mean, Bo Nix had more touchdowns than Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
They
sure
paid
did.
Cortland Sutton. You're getting a newer, a fresher, a more improved Troy Franklin, everyone's favorite wide receiver. They added Evan Ingram. They got RJ Harvey in there. We're going to get some weird Sean Payton shit with the tight end and the running back, I'm sure. It's just like the hipsters fucking love Denver.
The hipsters love Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Hipsters love Sean Payton. The number of articles and podcasts I've read where it's like Sean Payton, secretly the best head coach of the last 25 years, the smartest guy ever. Will he be my dad? You know, I don't get it.
Does he dip? Like, are his cheeks full of skull, or do his cheeks just look like that?
Well, if you had watched the motion picture about you beat me to it, the Kevin James movie about his life, maybe you would have the answer. I didn't watch it either, so I don't know, but I bet that's in there.
I hope that most of
remember when there's a Kevin James movie where he started Sean Payton the year he got kicked out of the NFL for a headhunting scandal?
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember they made a heartfelt movie about him teaching kids? He was kicked out of the NFL for a year for setting up a bounty program in which he tried to get players on other teams injured.
luckily, also Brett Favre.
I'll actually fuck Sean Payton. I think I'm coming to this conclusion. I think I hate Sean Payton.
You know what's crazy about that Kevin James movie is like
Yeah.
you and I are perfectly in the Q zone to watch that. Like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
film psychos who also watch way too much football. Neither one of us watched it.
No.
Did anyone watch that? It's like who saw 80 for Brady?
Old Women from Boston. That movie made money.
Did it really?
Oh yeah. Hang on. I gotta look up how much money this Kevin James movie made. Actually, was it a Netflix movie? In that case, it probably
It might have been a Disney movie.
It's so funny to go on IMDb and see it's a Netflix movie. It's so funny to go on IMDb and look at Kevin James' filmography. You know, it has like the character name under each movie, and under that one it says Sean Payton. Directed by brothers Charles and Daniel Kinane.
Not familiar with
Who
their previous
also
work.
directed nothing I've ever heard of.
All right.
So there
Excellent.
you go. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I don't know about the Broncos, man. We'll see.
If you had to like I said, their over-unders fall in like 8, 8.5, 9, or 9.5, depending on where you look. If we just split down the middle and say 8.5, you taking the over or the under?
Over. I still think they're going to come in second in the AFC West. That's my prediction. Because the Chargers, I think losing Rashawn Slater, everyone keeps being like, well, you can just move Joe Alt over. I'm like, there's 2 tackle positions, guys. Whoever's playing right tackle is now going to be bad.
Which I think might be Mekhi Becton now.
Oh, my God. that's rough.
You see his accusation that just popped up?
Oh, no. What?
Here.
Do I want to know?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Okay.
Pregnant mistress exposes Chargers Mekhi Becton with $42,000 transaction, drug allegations, and bizarre underwear photo, according to IndiaTimes.com.
A man after Anthony Edwards' heart. Anyway, to finish my point, this Belichick thing really has me flipping the script on Pete Carroll. Like, I think maybe getting a really old retread, former great head coach is like not good, and the history on the guy coming back to the league as an old guy is not very good, and I'm not feeling very confident about that. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's Broncos. They're probably gonna be first or second in that division.
There you go. I started off with calling it the hipster pick. You said you hated Sean Payton, and then we ended up with you taking them as the hipster pick.
They're probably second in the division. They are probably I get it. You know, I get it. I don't think it's a hipster pick. I think it's a pretty reasonable pick.
It's just football hipsters are taking. I don't even hate the pick. It's just like the football hipsters really latched onto this one this year.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to give your next award out there, Tyler?
Yeah, this is the New York Jets Memorial Award for Jetsiest offseason, and this one's going to go to the New York Jets. Hey, guys, we're the New York Jets. We just came off of 2 of the most upsetting seasons for any franchise ever. Our all-pro quarterback who we signed, one of the best throwers of the football ever, basically tanked the season because he was trying to see whether the pyramids were built by aliens. So we're going to get back to what we do best. Wait, hang on. Wait, before you guys continue. What happened last time? Oh, well, we hired a well-respected defensive coordinator and then brought in a young, unproven quarterback. So what are you guys going to do this time? We're going to hire like a well-respected defensive coordinator, and we're going to bring in a young, sort of unproven quarterback who isn't very good at throwing the ball. They just did the same thing again.
They did. They really did. They really did.
Robert Saleh was a highly regarded hire at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think, no, I don't, it's not to say that Aaron Glenn isn't going to be successful, and they had to hire someone, but it was a Jetsy offseason. They did the same thing again.
They also set everything up. They like cleared the locker room. They're like, we're going to bring in people who want to be here and who are good, and we're gearing up. We're going to compete. We're not taking a year off. And they proceeded to lose Elijah Vera Tucker and have a bad offensive line outside of that.
Yeah, the Elijah Vera Tucker loss, that's tough. I feel bad. I'm feeling a lot worse about my the amount of Justin Fields late round flyer stock I have in fantasy this year. Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know.
Poor Garrett Wilson.
The Jets are just gonna the Jets gonna Jets. You know, they're like the Clippers of the NFL
Or the Mets.
or the Mets. Yeah. Except at least the Mets, the Mets and the Clippers are a better comp because they both have crazy owners who are like spending an insane amount of money to put together a B+ team.
I just got I had our lads pulled up to look at the depth charts. Famously, one time on this podcast, our lads was covered in like Russian porn viruses when I logged onto it. And this time I logged on and our lad says, "We detected an ad blocker on your device." I do not have an ad blocker on my device. I do not know what our lads is talking about, but now I can't access the depth charts on our lads.
How much do you want to talk about the Jets? Can I ask that question? I thought of this award because it was funny to say, and then I felt strongly about it. But how much do you actually want to sit here and talk about the Jets?
Well, I immediately sidetracked to talking about our lads accusing me of having an ad blocker, so I guess not much.
Yeah, I think they're going to be bad. That's my prediction. I think their defense isn't as good as everyone seems to think it's going to be. I think they're sneaky in the running for first overall pick in the draft this year.
Let's see. They got Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald IV as their pass rushers. Are you familiar with their previous work?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Quinnen Williams, very good. Harrison Phillips, fine.
Sauce Gardner, another cornerback who had a hot start to his career and then faded. This happens a lot with corners, like Trevon Diggs and a third name.
Not Rico Dowdle. The other guy that just got paid, Deron Bland.
Yeah.
Guy Deron Bland stock.
Deron Bland, good nickel corner.
There you go. The nickel corner for.
I'm glad Jerry knows
to
pay his good players. That's smart. You know,
that was the text I got when Deron Bland got paid. The text I got just said, "Kudos to Jerry. This guy knows when to pay a defensive player." They got Michael Carter II as their nickelback.
Yeah.
Brandon Stevens as their cornerback opposite Sauce Gardner. You know.
Can I ask you about a question about Deron Bland? Do you know that who would you rather have, Jalen Johnson from the Bears? First Bears reference, 40 minutes in. I'm doing pretty good today. Jalen Johnson from the Bears or Deron Bland on your team right now? Jalen Johnson makes like significantly less than Deron Bland's now. That's all. That's all. That's all. Yeah, it's just gonna be bad. I don't feel good about them. I feel like they're gonna not score. I feel like their defense isn't as good as people seem to think it is. I keep hearing on podcasts people like, well, they'll win like the occasional weird, scrappy 19-16 game. And I'm like, are they playing the Browns? Like, what offense are they holding to 16 points?
Listen, they're going to just win on field goals alone. They got Nick Folk in the building.
That's true. What a legend.
And their long snapper's name is Thomas Hennessy.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Folk and Hennessy is a really good law firm name.
I was thinking it sounds like Conor McGregor talking about what they had at the bar last night. Folk and Hennessy.
Folk and Hennessy. Yeah, that's pretty good. Welcome to Folk and Hennessy, where we make your money work for you.
Yeah. Injured, automobile, police violence, Folk and Hennessy.
Let's move on.
I got two of them, but since you brought up the Bears, I'll give you my Bears award.
Oh, good. I'm glad you have one for them.
The Rorschach Team Award goes to the Chicago Bears.
That's a good award.
Because here's the thing. Whatever you want to see in the Bears, you can find it. There's no hard answers. The Bears are whatever you want them to believe, or what you want to believe they are. The Bears are like imagination land. Like, they're the AI art, where you put in the prompt and it pops up whatever you want. Whatever you feel about the Bears can be backed up with evidence. You want to believe in the Bears? Young, highly touted quarterback, best offensive coordinator in the league coming in as head coach, depth at pass catcher with Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Colston Loveland. Good to great defense, improved O-line, brought in Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson. And in their division, the two juggernauts, the Lions and the Vikings, are almost guaranteed to be worse than last year.
Listen, we've done a lot of concern trolling about the Bears.
Yes.
I find it hard to imagine a better offseason. You know, like if you went into the offseason, you're like, well, they fixed the interior offensive line and they still might have a little left tackle problems, but they signed all these offensive weapons and They paid money to a pass rusher, like an unproven pass rusher, but like that might pay off. Like they've done a lot of stuff. Like, it's the off-season champs award, right?
Mm-hmm.
My head tells me they did everything right. They hired the best coaching candidate, the most highly regarded coaching candidate in, how long? When was the last time there was a guy this
Mike
wanted?
McDonald last year.
You just hate Ben Johnson. You just have a vendetta against him. If the Bears are good, are you going to start hating the Bears? Because of Ben Johnson.
Maybe.
No,
Yeah.
No. You live in Chicago. You have too many Bears friends.
Also, like the Bears get like a long leash to work with because A, I have too many Bears friends, and B, because Jaden Daniels was so good, and I just kind of feel bad for my Bears friends.
Well, that's my point about Ben Johnson. Is everyone's like, well, they paid all this money to improve all these positions, and Ben Johnson's there, and I'm like, we just got out of a year where we got the first overall generational pick, and he was the third best quarterback last year, the third best rookie quarterback. I'm in the camp that he was the second best rookie quarterback. I think people who are on the Drake May train are kind of huffing paint, but it's still tough.
So back to the Rorschach test, the case against them, since you're blowing them up so much. Caleb Williams, in kind of the offseason chatter, still not looking like an immediate generational QB. A lot of weird stuff from offseason chatter, a lot of weird Ben Johnson stuff, a lot of weird preseason stuff. Ben Johnson, first-time head coach. Even some of the best offensive coordinators of all time flop as a head coach. For instance, the Indianapolis Colts' current head coach. The O-line additions are all like older players that O-line needy teams let walk for next to nothing, and they are not going to be a great zone running scheme team, which is Ben Johnson's bread and butter when he had the most athletic offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
No true wide receiver one, no true running back one, and they're in the hardest division in football.
Listen, if we've learned anything from our division rivals, the Green Bay Packers, who needs a wide receiver one when you can have 8 wide receiver twos?
Yeah. It's like, what's better than having sex with a 10? Having sex with 4
3
threes.
6s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just want to see a good offense. Please. Can I just have one? Can I have one? Caleb doesn't even have to be good. What if we're just like a really good running team? What if DeAndre Swift has a good year? I just want one. I just want one offense that I can turn the TV on and be like, this is fun. I like watching football.
As having 2 good offenses in the history of my time watching the Commanders. I mean, variance here or there.
Taylor Heineke won a playoff game, didn't he?
Nope, he lost.
Oh, he almost won that playoff game. That's right.
They had him in the first half.
I'm not gonna lie.
having experienced that for so long, one of the best feelings of my adult life, even better than having sex with 4 threes, is drafting Jaden Daniels in fantasy and then winning the fantasy league because I drafted Jaden Daniels. And just waking up every Sunday being like, not only do I get to root for Jaden Daniels, but I also get to win my fantasy matchup because of Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, my best friend O'Neill is a Chiefs fan, and he's the type of football fan where he's from Kansas City. He comes by it honestly. He's the type of football fan where he doesn't actually really give a shit about football, but everyone around him does. So he'll occasionally wear a Chiefs shirt and come to show up at Super Bowl parties and do the one fantasy draft with all our friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it pains me to no end because he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it,
You're right.
He doesn't deserve it. He's the only Chiefs fan I know, and he doesn't deserve. It's like every Alabama fan I know who's like, "Well, we lost to Florida State in week 1. Fuck you. You won 4 championships. I hate you."
I got a buddy who's a Golden State Warriors fan, and he's like a hardcore basketball fan, but I'm still like, if you bitch anytime between now and the year 2040, I'm not taking any of that.
Yeah, I'm not taking any of it. I haven't won a playoff series or a playoff game as a fan since 2010, and that's not even the worst.
Don't forget we have Mike on here who His team lost 4 Super Bowls, and then
4 Super Bowls in a row. Yeah, that's tough.
4 Super Bowls in a row, and then
Does he remember that? How old is Mike? Does he remember that happening?
Mike's at this point. Mike's got to be in his mid-40s, right?
He's got to. What is he? Gen X?
I think he might be a baby boomer.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he doesn't deserve it. Last year, he literally looked at me and he said, "I was like, oh, you want to come over to my place and watch football week 1?" He's like, I'll just watch when the Chiefs are in the playoffs.
Jesus Christ.
I almost hit him.
Oh
it's infuriating, and I just want one. I just want one. They don't even have to be good. I just have to be fun. I just want one fun team where people are like, wow, you know who's fun to watch? The Bears.
Would you take a Jameis Winston 30-30 season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would take a Bears win 6 games and Caleb throws for like 4,000 yards, but like the defense is terrible. I would take one of those. I would take a Bengals like 8-win bad defense season, which I know is frustrating in its own way, but like I would take that.
Yeah, kind of similar to what I was saying earlier. You've had to deal with so many bad quarterbacks in your time as a Bears fan. Yeah. Just having one would be nice.
Just have one. He doesn't have to be top 5. He doesn't need to be good, you know? I just want him to be like as good as like Dak Prescott. That's all I'm asking for.
I don't know if this is the saddest podcast segment we've ever done or not, but it's making a case.
Me asking for Dak Prescott?
Yeah. He's saying, listen, my team doesn't have to win games. They
don't
have to show
look, I do say, if this season goes really bad for Caleb and the Bears, maybe next year we will have Dak Prescott.
Yeah, how do you feel like
we could probably get him for what, a 3rd-round pick from Jerry?
Oh, yeah. If Dak Prescott wants a pay raise, you could...
actually, don't
trade him Palace Hall.
Hold that Nussmeier thought. I'm gonna go for my next award.
Oh yeah, go for it.
This is the Fix is In award. Do you know who the Saints offensive coordinator is?
Oh my God, no, I have no idea.
It's Garrett Nussmeier's dad.
Really?
Yes. The Saints are absolutely tanking. Kellen Moore has a leash to do whatever he wants. They're starting Spencer Rattler because they're trying to get the first overall pick so they can draft local LSU boy Garrett Nussmeier to be the starter with his dad at offensive coordinator.
Doug Nussmeier?
Doug Nussmeier's
the fuck?
Saints, dude. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The Fix is In. This is the Fix is In award
How
for
are
the
people
first overall pick this year.
Talking about this?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I have more takes than that on this. That's just one of my awards.
That is incredible.
Yeah, pretty good.
He was the quarterbacks coach in Philadelphia last year and the quarterback coach the year before in Los Angeles. He just follows Kellen Moore around.
Yes.
And he was the quarterback coach in Dallas from 2020 to 2022. He literally just follows Kellen Moore around.
And they landed in New Orleans the year they might be able to draft his son first overall.
I can't wait for the Saints to have the #1 overall pick. Like, Lenora Sellers coming off a Heisman is in the draft. Out of nowhere, Arch Manning declares for the draft, and yet somehow Garrett Nussmeier goes first overall. And we're like, what happened here?
Nussmeier's pretty good. Nussmeier's pretty good. I like Nussmeier. I think
this podcast is a pro-Nussmeier podcast, but Arch Manning has the name value, and I think Lenora Sellers is going to have the best season in college.
Arch Manning, I'm out. I'm officially out.
Oh, yeah, me too. Should we do that? Should we officially put a stamp? The Talent Alone podcast minus Mike.
Arch.
Out on Arch Manning after week 1.
He has a noodle arm. I was expecting to see like a top tier athlete, and like he throws like Kirk Cousins now.
We were really leaning into him in the group chat during that OU game.
Yeah, we were really letting it rip.
OU's Oklahoma, right? I'm not a college guy,
OU's Oklahoma, yeah.
Got it. So OSU.
OSU, yeah. It was tough. And it wasn't like nerves, he's playing on the road against a top tier opponent in his first game, but like, you know, as someone who just watched a supposedly generational quarterback kind of have a mediocre shit the bed year with the occasion with like 2 flashes, that I feel for you, Arch. I maybe get on the, I don't know what machine would help you throw the ball better, but maybe maybe I don't know, maybe stretch your hands out so you can get a tighter spiral on that thing, but
maybe figure out how to do the tush push.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah.
He looks like he actually looks like Peyton Manning, but the last year he was with the Broncos.
Yeah. So maybe that's the secret. Maybe if Arch Manning just tanks his way down, ends up on like a top 1% defense.
He throws the ball like Blake Bortles.
Yeah, that's what you said in the group chat.
I know this because
yeah.
I used to watch Blake Bortles live at UCF when we had season tickets, and then like my dad and I followed his career very intensely as UCF fans, as my dad went there. And Bortles, one of his issues is it took him like a full second and a half to release the ball after he decided to throw it, because he would like drop the ball down to his hip and then he would do like a full like pitcher's windup. And like the number of times he got strip sacked was like an incredibly large amount. But yeah, that's what Arch Manning reminds me of. You know, when you watch a top tier NFL quarterback and you see how fluid and smooth and fast the release of the ball is, watching Arch, I'm like, ooh, that's a college. That's like a college quarterback right there. That's like a 6th round pick right there.
I guess this is what happens when your two uncles who actually made the show are too busy recording Monday Night Football to teach how to throw a
teach you
football.
proper mechanics.
Yeah.
Well, he was learning from his dad, who never actually made the league. So
yeah, and his grandfather, who was out of the league by the time that anyone who's watching football right now was born.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, Arch. We got off topic. Damn it. Moving on.
We got the Nuts Bus Award out of the way. The Fixes In Award. While we're on quarterbacks, I'm going to hand out the Slow News Day Topic Award of the offseason, and that goes to backup quarterbacks. It was a year for talking backup quarterbacks during this offseason. When we're struggling between the draft and the start of training camp to just find shit to talk about, boy, Kenny Pickett to Cleveland was a good talking point. Sam Howell cut by Minnesota was a good talking point. Dylan Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders, who was going to be higher on the depth chart.
Role in the third quarterback?
The Giants' 4 quarterbacks. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot they had cutlets too. Yeah.
Anthony Richardson versus Danny Dimes. Who's going to get that starting spot? And of course, Tyler Shough.
Yeah. A lot of Bajent talk this offseason too.
Oh my God! So I tested this yesterday, and no one bid on it, so I didn't get to tell the story. But now you're on my podcast, and you can't go anywhere, so I get to tell it. I was in a random office building for my job, waiting to talk to someone, and I was listening to 3 Bears fans stand around security, and they were saying that if they could put Tyson Bajent's mind in Caleb Williams' body, that would be the quarterback.
That's the ultimate Bears boomer take.
Yeah.
I love that. That's the ultimate people don't watch football take of like.
Oh yeah, it was full smooth brain conversation.
That's some dog whistle racism right there.
Yeah, that's some dog whistle racism.
We just need to put the white quarterback's brain in the black quarterback's body. Because I remember people saying that about Justin Fields, where it's like, we just need to put. I remember hearing like a radio take of like, well, if you had Mitchell Trubisky's mind and Justin Fields' athleticism, and I was like, Mitchell Trubisky's mind.
Mitchell Trubisky's mind got ruined by Four Loko in 2011. So
yeah, he's too busy kissing titties to learn how to play quarterback.
Do you think the people that say things like that don't realize that they're the villains in Get Out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the whole point of that movie. I was just reminded of Get Out recently. Like I was reminded of the scene where she's drinking milk and Googling NCAA football prospects. The funniest things I've ever seen in my life. It's so funny.
Jordan Peele really sat down and said, "What do white people do?"
I love Jordan Peele. I can't wait for his next movie next year.
What's it?
Most anticipated. Yeah. That's my anticipated, along with Steven Spielberg's Untitled UFO film coming out next year. Although you're not a Third Encounters guy. We're getting off topic. We can't talk about Third Encounters.
We won't get off topic. It's not Third Encounters' fault. It was the viewing experience's fault. I got to go back and rewatch Close Encounters.
All right. Are you done talking about your award, or could we rapid fire some awards here?
Yeah, unless you have any more thoughts on the villains of Get Out, we can move on to some other awards.
The villains of Get Out were definitely Bears fans. I hate to say it, but it's the case. I have dual awards: the "Why are we talking about this" award and the "Why aren't we talking about this" award. The "Why are we talking about this award goes to Trey Hendrickson and his contract extension. People they were leading with that on ESPN and like in the middle of the summer, like that's how dead it was. How many if you're doing a pass rusher draft right now, how many guys would you go through before you got to Trey Hendrickson?
Well,
I got to 7.
Yeah, so let's knock this out real quick then. Okay, I'll give you first pick. Pass rushers draft, you get first pick. Go ahead.
Myles Garrett.
Okay, I'll take Micah Parsons too.
I will take Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa, okay. I will take... I'm trying to think if I want anyone over Trey Hendrickson still. It feels like I should, and I wasn't really prepared for this now that I'm saying this out loud.
You're forgetting a big one.
Two big ones. Forgetting 2 big ones. My mind immediately went to Jared Verse, so that's probably a bad sign.
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby's... Okay, so who's the other one I'm forgetting here?
TJ Watt.
Yeah, so I'll take TJ Watt.
I'll come back. I'll take Max Crosby.
Okay. Man, is it going to be like an insanely hot take if I say Jared Verse? Is that going to be like...
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because then I would take Aiden Hutchinson after that.
Ah, fuck, I forgot about Hutchinson. I'm getting killed in this draft.
Anyway, why are we talking about Trey Hendrickson? He's a good pass rusher.
I think I'd take Trey Hendrickson there after we just named like 9 pass rushers. And maybe I'd take Abdul Carter first, just off the potential.
I know he led the league in sacks last year, but it was a positive regression fluke year where all the other best pass rushers in the league got hurt. And it was 17.5 sacks, which is the record for most sacks for like 3 franchises. It's not even the most sacks in Bengals history. So like, can we move on with not talking about Trey Hendrickson? I don't even want to talk about him right now.
There you go. So I won't, since you don't want to talk about him right now, I won't tell you that it was his most sacks by 3.5 sacks. However, he had 17.5 each of the last 2 years.
Well, I mean, his most sacks by in Bengals history.
Got it. Okay.
Am I wrong about that? I remember reading that somewhere. I might be wrong.
I'm sure you're right. I don't have the Bengals.
What's the Bengals sack record? Anyway, now for the why aren't we talking about this award? The why aren't we talking about this award goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who just no one talks about them, and they're in kind of a weak NFC. And like they won a lot of games, and they almost won last year the playoffs, and like they had a good draft probably. Why aren't we talking about the Buccaneers?
I have a potential Buccaneers award that I want to hand out later, so I'm not going to get too far ahead of my skis on this to give it away. But I'll say this: I don't believe in the Buccaneers. But I think that's another reason to talk about them. I'm shorting the Buccaneers, but that makes it worth talking about. And you're right, no one is talking about the Buccaneers.
Would you take Will Anderson over Trey Hendrickson?
Would I take Will? Yes.
Yeah. That's 7 guys now.
Danielle Hunter? I take Danielle Hunter over
I think
Trey
I'd probably go Hendrickson over Danielle Hunter.
Okay.
I was listening to the Athletic Football podcast the other day, and they were like, if you look at Danielle Hunter's career statistics, he looks like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And then they're right. But like, I'm just not afraid of him. There's an NBA comp there where it's like someone where it's like you look at the career statistics and you're like Demonis Sabonis or whatever, where you're like, wow, what a Hall of Famer, and you're like
Kobe Bryant.
Whoa. No, Kobe Bryant won a bunch of stuff. What are you talking about?
Yeah, with Shaq and Pau Gasol's help.
Yeah, but like, look at the other guys who are in the Hall of Fame. Kobe Bryant deserves to be in the Hall of Fame if those guys are in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
I once again to because I hate all millennial culture. I'm an anti-Kobe guy.
Yeah, I'm also kind of an anti-Kobe guy in the sense that he's just kind of a less efficient, less good Michael Jordan. He's
Klay Thompson, like without the efficiency.
Damn. Kobe really got out of the league right before Moneyball hit it, so good for him.
I mean, that last season he was in there, he had that 70-point game where he took like
40 shots,
70 shots to get there. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're cooking. We're cooking.
My award potentially involves the Bucks, so we'll get there. I need your help on this one.
Yeah.
So this award is called these teams somehow delude themselves into thinking it might work award, and I have 3 candidates for you. And I want to know which one you think applies to this most. Okay, so first off, a little website called talentalone.com. My apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly. they every year pick a team talent alone, a team they adopt and follow for the season. Their first year, 23-24, they went with the Atlanta Falcons. That was Arthur Smith's last year there. Last year, in his second season as a head coach and with Anthony Richardson as a starting quarterback, they went with the Indianapolis Colts. And this year, they have picked the up-and-coming and potentially going Arizona Cardinals as their team for the year. The only rule for this is that it cannot be a team that made the playoffs the previous year. That's the only rule.
Does this bode poorly for Arizona futures?
I think anything Mike and I do bodes poorly for anything positive we talk about. I was the anti-Jaden Daniels guy. So, number 2, the second potential, these teams somehow delude themselves into thinking this might work winner. The Washington Commanders, who just paid a 30-year-old wide receiver 3 years, $97 million.
30's the new 30. 30's the new 29, Adam.
Okay.
You know?
That's good. I'll get to be 29 again next year. And finally, the aforementioned Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who let their all-world offensive coordinator walk, and he would tell you exactly where he walked if you let him. And they're not talking about offensive regression. Now, Baker Mayfield threw like 40 touchdowns and 5,000 yards last year with maybe the best quarterback whisperer this side of Kevin O'Connell and Liam Cohen. And we're not expecting like a huge fall off in this offense. Like, we all remember when Baker Mayfield was bad, right, in Carolina and at the end of his tenure in Cleveland. Like, he's not this guy all the time.
Can I ask you a question about Liam Cohen?
Yeah.
Why do people think he's like the best quarterback whisperer ever? He was a good offensive coordinator for them last year, and Baker was really good last year. Baker was also really good the year before that with a different offensive coordinator.
What, did he have a different one? Hold on, I'm pulling up.
I can't remember who is the Tampa Bay Bucks. He's a head coach now.
Was it Callahan, or was he in Carolina? I don't know. I have to look it up, but.
I'm looking
Liam
it
Cohen.
Up. It was Dave Canales. Yeah, it was Dave Canales.
Dave Canales. There you go. Liam Cohen,
who revived Bryce Young's career.
Liam Cohen also was the person who got what's his face, Mayo guy, whose name I cannot remember now for some reason.
Will Levis.
Will Levis. He's the guy got Will Levis drafted. He made Wan'Dale Robinson into an NFL caliber player, and he's had a bunch of times rubbing elbows with the Rams in different roles.
If your 2 and 3 best things you've done is got Will Levis drafted and made Wan'Dale Robinson an NFL caliber player, I'm not sure how that translates to best quarterback whisperer this side of Kevin O'Connell.
Come on, got Will Levis drafted? That's pretty good.
Will Levis was always going to get drafted. I don't know what you're talking about. That's what's confusing.
Kentucky?
Yeah, he was big and he threw the ball far. If I watched Will Levis and Arch Manning throw the ball, I would tell you Will Levis is the better NFL prospect. If you look at their college tape, Will Levis is obviously a more obvious talent from a physical standpoint.
In Liam Cohen's 1 year being the head coach or the offensive coordinator for Baker Mayfield, his touchdown percentage went up from 4.9 to 7.2. His yardage went up by 500 yards, and they won one more game.
This is something you're going to be wrong about. I think this might be our biggest point of disagreement is I don't believe in Liam Cohen. I think he's probably fine, but I don't believe in him as like a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
I think the Bucs are going to be good this year. I think Baker is good. I think Baker's just good, and he has always been like pretty good. He just was on the Browns and the Panthers.
I have another award just called the Double Down When the Dealer Shows 11 award, and I'm giving that to the Jags because I'm buying so much stock on the Jags, and it's a dangerous prospect.
That's okay. Well, we'll have to come back and take a look at how these awards panned out for us at the end of the year.
But so to circle back and put a bow on this instead of arguing about Liam Cohen for the next 45 minutes, who should I give these teams somehow delude themselves into thinking it might work award to? TalentAlone.com, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Washington Commanders?
I would say the Commanders, mostly because last year felt I think Jaden Daniels is obviously better
Mm-hmm.
than Daniel Jones,
I
but
would agree.
it felt a little the one year the Giants made the playoffs with Daniel Jonesy, where it was like a little fluky. And the
Mm-hmm.
team as a whole, I think this year you guys are kind of in for a rude awakening where it's like, wow, Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
is really good, but he can't win every game magically.
I agree with
He's
that.
not Patrick Mahomes. So, or maybe he will be, but that would be interesting. That would be a wrinkle. But
I agree that there is. I mean, once again, the football hipsters. This became so much of a take that it's escaped the hipster orbit and made it into mainstream. That the Commanders are like a huge regression candidate. Like no one's picking them to make the playoffs, and I get it. So they just paid a 30-year-old Terry McLaurin 3 years, $97 million, and there's a pretty good chance they miss the playoffs.
I think Terry McLaurin, that's a point I actually disagree on. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll just be Terry McLaurin still. He's 30. He's not 33, Like
his point is always
the numbers are changing.
He played way less at Ohio State than most college wide receivers do. And then once he came into the NFL late, he just has less mileage on his body than your average 30-year-old wide receiver.
And I was joking earlier about the 30 is the new 29 thing, but that is actually kind of true. Like NFL careers are lasting a year or two longer than they used to, especially at those like receiver top end positions. So it's like, is the third year of that contract going to look good? No, but like this year, I think he'll probably be still pretty good.
You got any more awards stand out?
That was it. I'm fresh out.
I got one more for you then, and then we can close this out. I want to give a more traditional award, something a little bit less jokey. So I want to give the off-season MVP award, and for this, I am personally giving it to someone that, as someone who makes way too much sports content during the off-season,
Jerry Jones.
I needed something to talk about. Jerry Jones was a runner-up, but it's like it's like one of those years where the quarterback and the running back split votes to get MVP, and neither one of them wins it. Both the Cowboys had a shot here. Didn't know who I was going to go with. Ended up going with Micah Parsons as the off-season MVP. We have the August 1st Notes app tweet where he demands a trade and talks about Jerry Jones not talking to his agent at all. We have the saga for an entire month. Gives something to talk about every week where a new thing comes out. And Jerry Jones is asking where the moon is and, talking about Landman. And Micah Parsons is like falling asleep on a stretch table. And then finally he gets traded. We do an emergency podcast, and that news carries us all the way to September 4th, where we have kickoff tonight. Thursday Night Football. Cowboys against Eagles.
Have you seen the commercial they're running where it's like the Olivia Rodrigo song where the Cowboys, and it's like, I want to get him back, and I'm like, they're not going to get him back. They're not going to get him back.
That is
I hate to break it to the Cowboys fans. Yeah, the Eagles are going to win by like 14 tonight, right?
Oh, I mean, not to do the thing that too many podcasts do, but let me pull up the line real quick just to see, and then we'll get out of here. The line tonight for the game is Eagles minus 8.5. It is in Philly.
I would take the minus 8.5.
I wouldn't get anywhere near betting on this just because the lines are super stale, but I would bet that up to like minus 12 maybe.
Yeah. It's going to be really bad. Yeah. It's going to be ugly.
All right, Tyler. That's all I got. You got anything else for the podcast? Anything else you need to mention?
Bear down. It's going to be a great year. I have full confidence in that. Please don't hurt me. I've been hurt so many times. I'm so guarded. Please don't hurt me, Chicago. If you do, know that I will leave you this year. That is actually my final award, is the I will leave you award. And it's if the Bears disappoint me, if Ben Johnson is actually bad and Caleb is a bust, I will officially be putting my fandom up for auction. I'm done. Excellent. I'll be done.
I can't wait to try to coerce you to come over to the NFC East.
Anyway, that's all. Follow me on T-Car on Letterboxd. I've been watching a lot of movies lately. I've been in the lab.
There you go. Keep an eye out for whatever comes out of the lab. Nick Bonino of the hipster pick Denver Broncos just got paid 4 years, $106 million. That includes $70 million guaranteed. Your
Got no
thoughts?
takes. Got no takes on that. I think we should end the podcast and move on.
All right. Well, with that, keep an eye out on this feed. We'll have another podcast going up tomorrow covering Thursday Night Football in the first week. It's going to be a packed podcast because we didn't get one out earlier in the week. So enjoy that when it comes out. Go to townalone.com to read any of our written work. Follow me on Twitter at townaloneadam just to post my stuff. And with that, let's go watch football. Football's back. Let's go watch football.
Hell yeah.